caution and encourage everybody, if you're going to a show, keep your distance, wear your mask, you know, don't, you can enjoy a holiday, you can celebrate a holiday and it not cause issues, right? And I truly believe that, so I encourage everyone to do that and to try your best to encourage everyone else that you see do that as well. Now, our opponent's really getting smacked around here because we had the Embercleave, we had the Infuriate, we have the zombies already. They're down to 4 life. What do you do in Gruul, you know? What's up everybody, my name's Chance and today we're taking a look at a Rakdos Embercleave zombie deck. And I know it sounds crazy, but believe me when I say this deck actually smacks. I'm not saying you may want to take it into ranked and test it out there, but we definitely did have a great little streak with it today. I think we went, what, 4-1 or 5-1, something like that. It was crazy, it was absolutely amazing. Seeing how well this deck performed. And so the base of this deck is around, you know, one of the newer cards. You know, when a new set comes out, I like to play some of these new cards. Even if I don't initially think they're that good, I try to make the best deck I can possibly make with that given card. So the card for today that I was mostly focused on is Liliana's Devotee. It's a 3-mana human warlock, so not exactly a zombie itself. However, it reads zombies you control get +1/+0. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, so yours or your opponent's, you may pay 2 mana. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So really a cool uncommon if you ask me personally, but I'm also a huge fan of zombies. You know, I'm like head over heels about zombies decks. So before we go and hop into the rest of the deck and how we're playing around this card, if you enjoy the video, please be sure to watch all the way through, watch the pro tips, and come back and join us, you know, there at the end for the deck tech wrap up, where I offer up some other options for this deck to either make it more competitive or, you know, a little bit more fun. So around Liliana's Devotee, well, obviously we're playing zombies, right? It boosts up zombies. So some of the key zombie cards here, actually they're all pretty key, but you know what I mean. We have Rotting Regisaur, a 7/6 3-mana zombie dinosaur, which is obviously huge, and if you throw Embercleave onto it, well, it's going to be an 8/7 now with double strike and trample, and again, only 3 mana, so it's absolutely beautiful. And I will say this, the idea for this deck came from sort of flooding the board with zombies, and because of Liliana's Devotee, even if you lose those zombies, you can get them back. And because Embercleave has reduced cost based on the number of creatures you're swinging in with, well, it's kind of easy to get down in this deck. You don't mind if you lose your creatures. You get more creatures to replace those creatures if you lose those creatures, and you get an Embercleave on like a Rotting Regisaur or a Dreadhorde Butcher or something fun like that. So all in all, it's a really fun concept, but it's even more fun in practice. So I did just mention the Dreadhorde Butcher. It's a 2-mana 1/1 with haste that reads whenever Dreadhorde Butcher deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on Dreadhorde Butcher. When Dreadhorde Butcher dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So obviously, you know, you keep on swinging in with this, it's going to be getting more and more powerful. Liliana's Devotee makes it to where this card comes into the board with 2 power already, which is something that Dreadhorde Butcher kind of has a problem with, right? Whenever it enters the battlefield late and it only is dealing 1 damage, you know, when you swing in, and only dealing 1 damage when it dies, that's not really that much damage to, you know, scare your opponent away from blocking it. But you throw something like Liliana's Devotee on it, to where now it's swinging in for 2 off the bat, which is a little bit harder for your opponent to block, and it's dealing 2 if it dies. That's a total of 4 damage total. It's going to discourage them a lot more from, you know, just eating this with a creature and losing 1 creature, right? So Dreadhorde Butcher, absolutely amazing in this deck. Next up, we have Dreadhorde Arcanist, a card that works with the rest of our deck, which is why I feel the need to point it out now rather than later. So it's a 2-mana zombie wizard that has a 1/3 base stat line as well as trample, which is really key actually. And it reads, whenever Dreadhorde Arcanist attacks, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost less than or equal to Dreadhorde Arcanist's power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So you're saying, Chance, how does this work with Embercleave? Because Embercleave isn't an instant or sorcery. And I say you are correct. But due to the fact that we're reducing Embercleave generally down to like 2 or 3 mana, which is insane, we're probably going to have some mana left over to cast something like an Infuriate, and then we swing in with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and we can recast that Infuriate, and then also get the Embercleave down. So, you know, you're looking at +6 power onto your Dreadhorde Arcanist, which is now up to 7 power creature, and then you're throwing Embercleave on it. So again, this little 2-mana creature gets as big as this 3-mana creature, which, you know, generally Rotting Regisaur should not be that big. And even still, if you Infuriate onto the Rotting Regisaur, swing in with Dreadhorde Arcanist, Infuriate again onto the Rotting Regisaur, you now have a 13 power creature, and again, you throw the Embercleave on it, now it's a 14 power creature that has double strike and trample, which is absolutely insane. Speaking of insane damage and all that good stuff, Unleash Fury. This is actually an awesome card with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and I ended up playing the scenario wrong here in one of the games, and you'll see. But what you can do if you have both Dreadhorde Arcanist down, and what we did, you play Infuriate, right, and then you play Unleash Fury after the Infuriate, and then you swing in with both Dreadhorde Arcanist, and you take your lower power Dreadhorde Arcanist, whichever one you didn't Infuriate and Unleash Fury, and you cast back the Infuriate, and you take your bigger Dreadhorde Arcanist, and you cast back the Unleash Fury. So essentially what you're doing is you're plussing up your first Dreadhorde Arcanist up to, was it a 4/5, right? And then Unleash Fury, so it's going up to 8 points of damage. And you're recasting Infuriate, which makes it go up to 11 points of damage, and then recasting Unleash Fury, so it's going up to 22 points of damage with Trample, right? Which is crazy. Absolutely, like, it's nuts the amount of damage you can do. Not to mention, if you just so happen to have an Embercleave on that 22 power creature, then you're doing 22 damage with double strike trample. Your opponent's gonna scoop, is what I'm saying. Long story short, your opponent's gonna scoop. And now that you're seeing these crazy damage numbers, you're probably wondering, well, Chance, what happens if you're doing all this on a Dreadhorde Butcher and it doesn't have trample? Well, then you can just fling it, right? Fling is like such an awesome card. One, it works doubly with Dreadhorde Butcher because you get to fling the Butcher and then you get the damage after the Butcher dies. So it's like a wombo combo all on its own with the Butcher and, you know, Infuriates, whatever, Unleash Furies. But it also works well with your Rotting Regisaur because, again, if you Unleash Fury on a Rotting Regisaur and you swing in and they don't block that, well, they're a mistake. One, you just cracked them 14. Two, you turn around and fling that shit and you're dealing 14 more damage. So again, it's just one of those cards you have as a one-off to end the game, right? To just surprise your foe and say, mwahaha. Anyways, now the supporting cards, right? All the other cards that sort of come together to make this deck work, make it to where it is aggro, make it to where it doesn't, you know, lose card advantage based off draw and all that. So Falmir Knight's a 1-mana zombie knight creature that can come down with 1/1 as a death touch creature. It's perfectly fine for 1 mana. However, you can also spend 3 mana and draw a card and you lose 1 life. This card is really, really awesome because whether you draw it early and you're getting down the 1 mana, 1/1 death touching zombie knight, or you're getting it late and you're getting to draw the card, it's going to have some added benefit or added value to your hand. Grim Initiate, it's really cool because it comes down with first strike. It's a zombie, which means when your Liliana's Devotee enters the battlefield, it kicks this power up to 2, and since it has first strike, well, again, it's a bit more troublesome for your opponent to deal with, and it gives you a pretty solid blocker. Infuriate, I feel like we've talked about that pretty extensively. Lazotep Reaver, this card is like a better version of the Goblin Instigator that we had in Mono Red, a year and a half back, something like that. Essentially 2 mana, you get 2 creatures down, both of them are zombies. This is a 1/2, the other one's a 1/1, which means when you get Liliana's Devotee down right after Lazotep Reaver, you're going to have 4 points of damage on the battlefield come turn 3 just from your Lazotep, right? Not to mention if you also have a Falmir down that's already dealt 1 damage, and now you have, you know, your Liliana's Devotee, so you have 6 points of damage. You've already dealt 7 points of damage come turn 3. It's not bad. You got your opponent down to 13 life. You have 4 creatures on the battlefield, which means your Embercleave only costs 2 mana. You know, you see where the efficiency from this deck lies, right? It's sort of from flooding the board with zombies and then using Embercleave for super cheap. Outside of that, we've talked about Dreadhorde, Fling, Unleash, boom, boom. Yep, Time Merit. Excellent card. 1, mills you 3, whatever. You know, this isn't the kind of deck where you're going to be milling yourself crazy tons anyway, so it's perfectly fine. Then you may exile a creature or enchantment from your graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Now, again, we don't have any reanimate, so that's perfectly fine. You know, exile whatever you want. And then get back that 2/2 zombie creature token. Next turn, you're going to get another 2/2. Third turn, you're going to gain life, X life, and scry X, where X is the number of zombies. And, well, seeing as how you have like a million bajillion zombies in this deck, it's potential for, you know, a decent bit of life gain, decent bit of scry, that kind of stuff. And for 3 mana, you really can't beat that value. Moving us down here into our top end, we do have Liliana Dreadhorde General, because you can't play a zombie deck without the zombie Dreadhorde General Queen herself, right? So whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. Obviously, this is fantastic alongside Liliana's Devotee, where we get the benefit of getting the creature back after a creature dies, right? And the nice thing about Liliana's Devotee, if you'll notice, sorry about the cough, it says if a creature died this turn, not if a non-token creature. So essentially, you can make this 2/2 zombie just keep kind of cycling itself, right? You swing in, it dies, you pay 2, you get it back. With Liliana on the field, you're swinging in, it dying, you're drawing cards, and you're getting it right back. Furthermore, you can -2 each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Well, you have a lot of creatures here. You don't actually mind sacrificing, right? You don't mind sacrificing the little 1/1 zombie army, as it's mostly just an extra body to swing in with. You really don't mind sacrificing Grim Initiate, as you get another zombie back from it anyways. And typically, like I said, you'll have 1 or 2 Liliana's Devotee zombies down, or you'll have Time Merit zombies down, and those are perfectly fine for you to sacrifice out at the cost of your opponent also having to sacrifice. And then, of course, the -9 sort of ultimate from her. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. You knock them down to 1 land, 1 creature, 1 enchantment, 1 artifact, 1 planeswalker. Your opponent's going to be hurting by the time you get this down, right? By the time it's turn 6. They're going to have built insane amounts of mana, so the fact that you can just get rid of all that is beautiful. Also, it's pretty good. Also, it's pretty good against those Yugen ramp decks. If you can get this out before they get to that Yugen point, you can just remove all their stuff. Now, obviously, that takes a little bit because you need 1, the 6 mana planeswalker down, 2, you need to plus it up enough to get it to the 9, and then 3, you need to actually -9 on it. So, you know, a bit complicated there, but all in all, this deck, I loved it. It felt fun to play. It won the matches, and you know, it's 2 of my favorite archetypes, Embercleave and zombies. Throw those 2 together, I'm gonna be a happy man regardless of what the rest of the deck looks like, right? Anyways, thanks everybody so much for watching all the way through the deck tech breakdown. I'll see you in the matches, and hopefully at the end of the video you'll join us for the deck tech wrap up, right? On to the match. Harry Reckenrod here. I like the name. We're gonna keep the hand. Y'all know me, whenever I first jump into a deck, I like to, you know, unless a hand is obviously bad, I like to keep a few of the first starter hands to see where the deck's lining up at. How are we feeling about it? I actually want to see more land. Like, yeah, I love a Dreadhorde Butcher, you know, who doesn't? But I really just want to see more land. Are we seeing another Gates deck here? Because we saw one yesterday. I think we were playing the Death Touch Tribal or something. We'll see though. We'll see how well it works out. We're looking for an Embercleave. Obviously that'd be pretty good in this scenario we're in right now. So we hit down Liliana's Devotee, and it increases the power of these 2, right? Season of Growth. Interesting. Very interesting. We are going to go ahead and shock this down and get down Liliana's Devotee. There is an argument to be made for going for the Rotting Regisaur in this scenario, but seeing as how Liliana's Devotee is the new card that we're mostly curious about, this is the card we're going to be playing. Pretty cool art. Pretty cool art. Alright, Harry Reckenrod, what do you got for me? Dreadhorde Arcanist. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I just want to see the bow that wraps it all nicely, neatly together. You know what I mean? Hey! Eyes off the... Oh, you son of a bitch. You keep your hands off my Devotee, okay? This is between me and him. So next turn, our opponent is going to swing in with that Dreadhorde Arcanist so they can recast the Domri's Ambush. We want to make sure that we're punishing them if they are swinging in. Right? We want to make sure we're taking it to the face with them. Now, argument again could be made for playing down Grim Initiate plus Falmir and then simply using those 2 lands left over, swinging in with these 2 creatures, and then paying 2 to get another black 2/2 zombie back. For the time being, we're just going to let it rest. Alright, Mr. Harry, what you got for me? Let's see. Shocking in a land. Gnarlback Rhino, not what I expected to see. But it does mean that they could swing in with the Dreadhorde Arcanist now and use that on the Gnarlback. But it's still not big enough to kill the Rotting, right? It's one off, so yeah, no swinging from the opponent. That's nice to see. Do we discard a land here? I think so, because we can draw with the Falmir Knights, so... Ooh. Ooh, that's good. So who are we swinging in with? Everyone except for the Devotee, which makes it only cost 2, which means we still have 2 mana left over. Sorry, should have muted myself for that last cough, but it's all fine. So yeah, swinging in with everybody, and we'll see how they decide to block. And well, obviously our Rotting just sort of has free reign into the face if they don't block it, and then we Embercleave it. It's going to be, you know, 9 points of damage, double strike, trampling, so... You're probably going to want to block the Rotting if I had to guess about it. Harry? I see. You're not prepared. Unless they have an unsummon, in which case, bravo. Bravo, Harry. Let's see, is it an unsummon? Is it a stern dismissal? No, it's a scoop. We're picking up a game 1 with Embercleave zombies. Blofeld 666. What a name. What a hand. Look at all these fabled passages. I mean, we could just go for the Falmir Knight, hope for more lands. Anyone want to run the math real quick, see what the odds of that shit is? The odds of me hitting 2 Fable Passages in a single land, and then again 2 Fable Passages in a single land. Because it can't be that high, right? There's no way that's that high of a chance. Alright, don't play a creature. I see it in your eyes. You want to. I'm begging you. I'm begging you, please. Don't do it to me. Sometimes you just gotta risk it. They may only have an opt, in which case I'm gonna feel ridiculously dumb for not swinging in. And if they have a Spectral Sailor, hey, we're taking out their flyer, right? Ain't no shame in that. Can't tell if our opponent's playing Azorius Flyers or if they're playing Mono Blue. That's interesting because it allows us to recast our Infuriate, which I think is pretty good. You know, given we don't have an Embercleave in hand yet, we just sort of lost our Dreadhorde Butcher. I think an Infuriate into an Infuriate is pretty dope. So we'll try for it. Now on our next turn, are we getting down Liliana's Devotee? Or do we go ahead and go for the Dreadhorde Arcanist? I think we go ahead and go for the Dreadhorde Arcanist, honestly. That way it can attack sooner. Because the Liliana's Devotee, since it has a Lord effect of boosting all your creatures, generally you want to get down your creature. Ooh. No. They're about to mill our Dreadhorde Arcanist, so I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad on the inside, as that was, you know, card I actually wanted to keep. But hey, you milled out a land too. I'm grateful for that one. We're kind of sitting at our sweet spot right now with lands. Obviously, a few more wouldn't hurt, but and you want to make sure you have double red, by the way, before you're going to do anything. So we can swing in here and use Infuriate. I don't think they trade out their Brownborn here. Yeah. Are we just getting down a Falmir, or are we using it for the card draw? I think we're saving it and using it for the card draw. I know they have this weird mill strategy going on. Ugh, You're milling all the stuff I want to see. The Unleashed Fury, the Rotting Regisaur, the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Just stop it. Just stop it. Arrester's Animation. What a card. What a fucking powerhouse of a card. That's something you don't see every day. And it's almost like our opponent's playing against their own deck here with the cards that they're using. Puts us up to 5. You didn't like it before, I'll see if you like it this time. Now obviously they may have a bounce spell here that is 1 single mana. They could also have an opt to just draw and proc Teferi's Tutelage, which I could see a mono blue player playing that. No, again, I want the card draw, Falmir. I don't care how long it takes me. I want the card draw. Still go to Historic. Yeah, it is true. They do still go to Historic. I just, you know, I'm a little stingy with my wild cards. I actually don't have any rare wild cards either, so I have to go like open packs and shit if I want to get some. Anyways, Teferi's Tutelage. Hey, quit! That's my Embercleave, you bastard. That's the game plan. You motherfucker. A side note, by the way, if you plan on / intend to use Infuriate plus Embercleave, you will need 3 sources of red mana, so you know, maybe keep that in mind when you're trying to get down your mana and using your fables and all that stuff. Teferi's Tutelage. God, I gotta say, I'm so excited this exists now. That the ability to mill is so prevalent. And it's only 3 mana and it's an enchantment, not even a creature. I do love that fact. Yes, it is sarcasm. Another Embercleave bites the dust. And another one down, and another one down. Blowfield really sucks. Y'all like my song? I know it's not Blowfield, it's Blowfeld. But, you know, it fit for the song, okay? Shut up. So we're drawing. Are we playing the Dreadhorde Butcher? I think we're waiting until next turn if we're playing the Butcher. So I think on this turn we're fine to throw it on a Falmir Knight. And just get in there. Get in there, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck them up. Now, obviously, they have some... Or not. I was going to say, obviously, they have something that, you know, they can use to boost their Primeboard Cutthroat, but obviously not. I'm just a little delusional. My Liliana, come on. All the spicy stuff. You're draining it. But our opponent is at 7 health, so, like, for as much anxiety as they're causing me, which mill decks always cause me anxiety, right? Because it's essentially like putting me on a timer, and man, do I hate timers. Hence why I'm such a slow, nonchalant person. But whatever, we'll be fine. We can get down Liliana's Devotee plus the Dreadhorde Butcher, which, in my opinion, yo, every copy of my Embercleave, you gotta mill every fucking copy? That's fine. I'm coming back hard. You're gonna rue the day you fucked with me. That's right, 6 points of damage to the face. You either block the Dreadhorde or you get taken out by it. What do you do, opponent? You can't block it with your Cloudkin because that is lethal, as the pros call it. Alright, they go down to 1. Dreadhorde goes up. What do you do, Blowfeld? You mill? Okay. You mill me for 1 million? Cool, cool. As long as they don't mill me for another 15 cards, 14 cards, right? Well, that's certainly a great start. That's 6. That's 6. Now you just need, you know, several ops in hand. Actually, how many would they need? Just 2 more sources of card draw, right? Within 3 mana? That's perfectly doable in blue. Draw 2 cards with 3 mana. They got this. There's no way you don't take me out. Blowfeld. Come on. Awesome. GG. Good game. Good game, Blowfeld. You had me. You had me anxious. God, I hate Teferi's tutelage. But I love picking up a victory. Pain is going to be our next foe for the day. But yeah, pretty excited about that. You know, we went and saw this fireworks show last year, and I've been around a little bit of the country. You know, I've seen my fair share of fireworks shows. So it's a little bit harder to impress me than some. Obviously, some live in like big cities that do the biggest fireworks shows. And so, you know, whatever, y'all are spoiled. But I've seen some pretty good shows. You know, the ones that I've seen out in Oklahoma, those were great. But it's also Oklahoma, where you have like empty land for miles and miles, so you can do big fireworks shows and not worry about the debris and the downfall and the fires and whatever. But you know, here in Georgia, they try to keep it a little contained because it's in the middle of a city, kinda, and you're gonna have debris and shit falling on top of buildings, and obviously that's not ideal, right? So we could go for the time Eric calls the dead here. Our opponent's not playing anything, which is making me nervous, you know? I am gonna swing in first and foremost. Okay, nothing comes through. You know what, time Eric? Come on down, buddy. Come on down. Exile it. Give me another zombie. We're looking for that Embercleave on the next turn. This is the way we're gonna do it. But yeah, the thing that I'm excited for this year, so you know, so as to come full circle, is they were saying how the grand finale of last year will be the base minimum of the shows for this year, which is pretty cool, you know. Now, obviously, coronavirus is still out, and I still caution and encourage everybody, if you're going to a show, keep your distance, wear your mask, you know, don't, you can enjoy a holiday, you can celebrate a holiday and it not cause issues, right? And I truly believe that, so I encourage everyone to do that and to try your best to encourage everyone else that you see to do that as well. Now, our opponent's really getting smacked around here because we had the Embercleave, we had the Infuriate, we have the zombies already. They're down to 4 life. What do you do in Gruul, you know? We're 1 mana away from getting our Liliana down. This deck feels fun. Now, obviously, we haven't taken it into ranked yet, which is the true, like, is this deck good test? But 3-0 for today feels pretty good. Now, Mac did smack us around quite a bit last night with his Jund land deck, so Shifter is going to be our next foe. And I really enjoy that probably most of all with holidays, is like being able to celebrate however I want. My family had a very laissez-faire approach to things growing up, and so I like to carry that with me. These Lazatep Reavers just always coming down, always seeing action. I gotta say, I love it. I miss Goblin Instigator. You know, the card that, oh my god. So next turn, am I using my Fabled Passage, double infuriating onto a zombie, which can then go up to 8 damage and then unleash Infuri? I think so. I think so, as crazy as that is. Wow, look at all those lands we just milled. So you get in here because obviously their Incubation Druid can't kill anything, right? And 1 point of damage is 1 point of damage. You don't deny that. Paradise Druid. I'm hoping they don't chum block our 2/2, but I don't think they will, given they only have a Paradise Druid. Like, I don't see them actually blocking anything here. And we don't want that, we don't want that swamp to come down. We gotta remember, we want double Infuriate into an Unleash Fury. Oh, I love the explosiveness this deck has. Alright. Oh, yes. Lovely, lovely. Alright, well, our opponent still only has 2 creatures, which means we get through just off numbers, right? We want you on top. I don't really want you, or you. Alright, so is that another GG? It is 4-0. I'm feeling dirty. I'm feeling a little dirty. Land smacking. That's what it feels like. Insight 47 though, gonna be our next foe, and oh. God, you're really testing me, game. You're really testing my greed. I gotta say, I'm failing the test. I'm keeping the hand. You give me a Dreadhorde Arcanist with not one Infuriate, but 2 Infuriates, followed by a Rotting Regisaur. Whoa, Liliana, get back over there. What do you think you cost 1 mana? You silly girl. Silly, silly girl. Alright, Conclave Mentor. Cool beans. Cool beans. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Oh, messed up there. Oh, but they didn't block. Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy, Insight 47. They said 8 points of damage, turn 3. Nah, not worth the block. Stone Cool. Ooh, protection from my Dreadhorde Butcher. You gotta love that. You gotta love and respect that. So how are we doing this then? Are we still just saying fuck you and going all in, right? We'll lose the Dreadhorde Butcher, but the Dreadhorde Butcher gets to take out the Conclave Mentor, and Dreadhorde Arcanist gets in for a ton of damage. That sounds fine by me. Sounds fine by me. Yep. So they block with the Stone Cool. They block with the Conclave. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. Now, a point could be made for double infuriating our Dreadhorde so it doesn't die. I'm fine with what we're doing here. So you get to go back up to 10, and I'm going to throw down the Grim Initiate. We could have actually dealt more damage there, right? Had I used Infuriate prior to swinging in. Yeah. That's fine. Stone Cool. Oh, you dirty, dirty boy. I see what you're going for, and I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, so if I swing in with Dreadhorde, it can go up to 4 power, but that's not going to be quite enough. So let's go ahead and get down Rotting Regisaur, and this may be one of the games where we lose, folks. But at the same time, if we can get 2 more land and get down to Liliana and make them sacrifice that Stone Cool, we'll be in great shape. But it is a Bont deck that's running Conclave Mentor, so you can't rely too heavily on them not playing tokens and trying to go wide and all that stuff, you know. Wildwood Scourge. All right, I really need to hit. Oh yeah, I forgot about Rotting, just sort of discarding that Liliana. Haha, psych, everybody. Just kidding, JK. Ignore me. Now we could swing in with Dreadhorde plus Rotting, because that does force them to block the Rotting, right? You either block it with a Stone Cool and lose Stone Cool, or you block it with your other creature, in which case, hey, fine by me. That's a big ass Stone Cool. Honestly, if they just remove my Grim Initiate, like what do we do? You know? Or if they boost it just a little bit. Alright, if they boost their damage just a little bit. Yes! That's lovely. Alright, so Insight 47 finally taking us down. And I gotta say, what a deck to do it with. Hydra's Growth, Stone Cool Serpent, the Wombos, the combos, Tella Fiesta. Well, are you gonna tell me about a Fiesta? Because I would love to hear about a Fiesta. I'm all down for the PARTY parties. Alright, so again, I think we go for the Dreadhorde Arcanist first, and oh, okay. Now I'm trying to figure out, how do we use this Unleash Fury with the Dreadhorde Arcanist, you know? Like, how do we effectively do this? Because we can obviously double the power of it right now, and then double the power of it again. But I think it might actually be better if we go for the Dreadhorde Butcher. Let's hope it gets through. Obviously, there's a bit of hoping with this. They're blocking it with Paradise Road. Ah, fine by me. But I was going to say, you know, if the Butcher can get built up a little bit, then double Unleashing Fury on it is just gorgeous. Krenko, you dirty bastard. Why did I do that? Oh. I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that. Well, it doesn't matter too much, but I didn't need to shock in the land there, is basically all I'm saying, okay? I'm interested to see what Tella has here for us. So Jund, Krenko. What could it be? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like, what are you looking for with Krenko in the mono black colors? Demonic Embrace. It's not a bad idea. It's a 3-mana card. It gives your Krenko flying. All in all, I think that... Oh, and you're swinging in? Oh, well, it does get bigger, right? Can I... 3? No, I can't. Alright. Puts it up to 4 damage. That puts it up to 5. I mean, I could if I gave everything. I could take out their Krenko here. I don't think that's what we're trying to do, though. You play your fun stuff, Tella. I'll play my fun stuff, and we'll see, you know, whose fun stuff wins in the end. Oh my god, the Unleashed Furies. If only we could have kept that, You can stay back, Grim Initiate. I don't actually need you. No! I chose it on the wrong one! Oh! Okay. Future reference to everybody. What you want to do there is make sure you're choosing the right Dreadhorde Arcanist to select your Infuriate and the right Dreadhorde Arcanist to select your Unleashed Fury. That was so bad. We could have won there, by the way. FYI. Right? Unleashed Fury doubling up on the non-damage. Is that what we had? It would have been like exactly lethal. I mean, the best thing I can do here is Unleash Fury, right? Alright, well, that's a GG. Fuck. Fuck me. Alright, well, don't do that. Alrighty, so you made it all the way through the matches. First and foremost, I want to say thank you. I enjoy and appreciate all the support that y'all show day in, day out. You know, all the like, comments, all that fantastic stuff. So, first and foremost, pat yourself on the back. Don't leave me a like. You know, reach around, give yourself... Sorry, my computer chair's back there. Reach around, give yourself a good old pat on the back because you deserve it. You're the one that makes this channel, you know, what it is. Being able to continue doing this day in, day out, and being able to put more time into this. So, thank you, truly. Now, if you enjoyed the video and you do want to support the channel, leaving a like on the video helps every video that you leave a like on. Leaving a comment down below, let me know how to improve either my commentary or the deck text or the gameplay, whatever it may be, right? That's always appreciative, and I try to go through and read every comment I can. Obviously, sometimes I miss some of them, and that's just because I'm busy and YouTube doesn't have a, you know, it doesn't have the world's greatest notification system on comments, but you really can't, considering some people get like millions of comments a day. And anyways, I try to get through what I can. So leave a comment, like, subscribe, of course, if you're new here and you want to see more content. Hit that little bell icon that pops out afterwards. If you're looking to catch us play these decks live, hop over to twitch.tv/DrSpelkin. And last but not least, check the description. You'll find a Discord link. I highly recommend you click it, hop over there, and enjoy being part of a community that's rocking socks, really. Anyways, on into our deck tech wrap up. So this was a super fun deck to play. It was super efficient. It was a little difficult for me to find cards that I was like, I would put this in the deck. I would take something out to put this in the deck. So just going through the list, you know, top to bottom, how we normally do it. Disfigure. This is actually a really good card for removal. 1 instant speed -2/-2 on your opponent's creatures, which means if they have something like a Dreadhorde Butcher, it's not actually getting to deal any damage, which is awesome as hell. Furthermore, you can recast this with your Dreadhorde Arcanist, so you could cast this down, swing it with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then recast this, which means you could essentially take out a creature with, you know, toughness 4 or less, which is a questing beast. It's really good for a 1-mana card, being able to kill a questing beast, right? Moving us down, we have Spark Harvest. Again, you don't mind sacrificing your creatures here, because if you sacrifice your little zombie army, right, and it was only a 1/1, and you only spent 1 mana to remove something else, So you've only spent 1 mana, you got to destroy a creature or planeswalker or whatever. You can then turn around and pay 2 mana and get a bigger creature back. So it's almost like you got the upgrade, you got to remove something, and you did it all super duper cheap, right? 3 mana tops. That's insane. Blazing Volley, a card kind of like Disfigure, except instead of dealing 4 damage, you're going to deal 2 damage to all of your opponent's creatures. So you play this, you swing it with a Dreadhorde, you play it again. It's really, really nice against those mono white weenies decks, or the mono red decks that are just sort of aggro, or, you know, token decks if you can get underneath them and cast this before they get built up too big. Crash Through, you'll notice that the only card that really has trample on here, you know, minus Embercleave giving everything trample, is Dreadhorde Arcanist. And sometimes you're going to have a big old rotting Regisaur that simply can't get through because, well, the opponent keeps having chum blockers. So Crash Through solves that problem, also allows you to draw a card, and the fact that you can cast it back for free with Dreadhorde Arcanist means you could essentially draw a card for free. So it gets to cycle itself, plus you can get 1 extra free card on top of it. It's a pretty good deal. Another problem this deck runs into is simply not being able to swing in with your creatures as soon as they enter the battlefield. Something like Summit Sprint, 1, again, can be recast by the Dreadhorde Arcanist, and 2, gives target creature +2/+1 and gains haste until end of turn, which is really, really good. So one thing, and you can describe one. So one thing to note about this, if you cast down a creature and you're planning on Embercleaving, it actually costs you the same, unless your Embercleave only costs 2, right? It actually costs you the same amount of mana to go ahead and Summit Sprint whatever creature came down, because that creature swinging in will reduce the cost of Embercleave by 1. So Summit Sprint's literally paid for itself if you use it in order to get the Embercleave down. So please keep that in mind. Shadow Spirit, we saw this in the deck from the other day where we put it on the Rotting Regisaur and it just does work. Again, it's another great way of giving your creatures trample, and the lifelink is, well, going to help you stay alive, which is really nice, right? Dreadhorde Invasion, I don't actually know how I feel about this card given the nature of the beast, right? That it can kill you. However, because of the Unleashed Furies, because of the Infuriates, you can get one of your, you know, little zombie army creature tokens or whatever built pretty fast, to the point where it's going to have that 6 power and it's going to gain you life. So yeah, I go back and forth on it. Certainly don't pick it up if you're like on the border about this deck, or really I don't know if I'd pick it up at all, mostly because it's rotating and it was one of those cards that's like it either hits or miss, right? Moving us down, we have Mire Triton. If you're looking for more things to interact with Time Merit and milling yourself and all that kind of stuff, I mean, Triton's fantastic. 2 mana for a 2/1 with Death Touch, and whenever it enters the battlefield, you mill 2 and you gain 2 life. You know, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Moving us down, we have Unlikely Aid. Another one of those cards with Dreadhorde Arcanist just kind of becomes absurd. So you can Unlikely Aid onto your Dreadhorde Arcanist, so that way it gains indestructible and you can actually swing it without having to lose it. Then you swing in, and because it has 3 power now because of Unlikely Aid, you can recast Unlikely Aid and give another creature you control that is swinging in indestructible and +2/+0, which is, again, really nice, especially if you're doing it on something like a Dreadhorde Butcher where you just want it to get in, build up, and all that good stuff. Moving us down, we have 1 copy of Fire Prophecy. Again, this is removal that allows you to cycle through your deck, right? If you have a card in hand like your Liliana and you're nowhere near getting it, cycle it. Deal 3 damage, remove from one of your opponent's creatures, and cycle that Liliana and look for, you know, that land you need, or the Embercleave, or the Rotting, whatever. If you really like the idea of Fling in the deck, here's another card for you. It's a common, it's 2 mana, it's called Heartfire. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature or a planeswalker. Heartfire deals 4 damage to any target. Now, obviously, you're not getting the full effect of throwing a 7/6 Rotting Regisaur into your opponent's face. 1, it's uncommon. 2, it's instant. And 3, in some scenarios, this is actually going to be better than Fling, as if you use this on your little Falmir Knight, it's dealing 4 damage instead of, as with Fling, it's only dealing the 1. So, but then again, it has Death Touch, so I guess you can make an argument for that. Anywho's just Murderous Rider. If you're looking for a little bit more control over the game and your opponent in general, Murderous Rider is a 2/3 zombie knight with an adventure spell attached to it, which allows you to destroy target creature or planeswalker. Now, you do need to be a little bit careful, as this does cost you 2 life, so, you know, check your life total before you're going to use this card. Next up, On Crop Invader. This is actually a very budget-friendly card. It's only a common, and it's 3 mana. 3 mana for a 2/2, and as long as it's your turn, On Crop Invader has first strike. Furthermore, you can pay 1 mana, sacrifice another creature. On Crop Invader gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So honestly, I think you could take this deck a little bit more heavier into red, pick up something like Claim the Firstborn, play an On Crop Invader. It'd be beautiful. Now, why do I say that this is so good? 1, you pay 1, sacrifice another creature, and now you have a 4/2 first striker, which is solid damage, not to mention if you throw Embercleave on it, right? Furthermore, though, whenever you go to sacrifice a creature, if you have Liliana's Devotee down, you can just regain that creature. So this card gets boosted for 1 turn, and you essentially lose nothing, which is, again, really nice. And then we have God Eternal Bantu, the zombie god himself, 5 mana for a 5/6 with Menace, and it reads whenever it enters battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. When God Eternal Bantu dies or is put into the exile from the battlefield, you may put it into the owner's library 3rd from the top. So again, solid body, it's a zombie, and allows you to have some explosive card draw if you go through and just sacrifice stuff. And if you do go through and just sacrifice stuff, then maybe you have enough mana left over with Liliana's Devotee to, build back up some zombies. Anyways, I think that is going to do it for the deck tech wrap up. I'm trying to make these a little bit shorter while still containing all the information that I want to get in these, right? Because I don't want people to feel like, I didn't explain why a card is in here when I specifically picked it to be in here, right? And I don't want people to be clueless in general as to how to play the deck or what should be played when or any of that shenanigans. So, thanks everybody so much for watching all the way through the video. Have a happy 4th. I know this video will probably go up after the 4th, but still, have a happy 4th of July and a happy 4th of July weekend. And I hope to see you all, later tonight or tomorrow. Peace.